Welcome to the party. I'm Sam Ekstrom of Locked On Sports Minnesota. It's been established that the Matthew Stafford to Vikings rumors are fake and fraudulent. Let's talk about them.
I'm Luke Braun of Locked On Vikings, and can you please just tell me if TJ Hawkinson is playing or not?
Luke Inman at Luke_Spinman. I got a huge advantage over Luke Braun today. Stay tuned for that.
Hey, this is Arif Hassan of the White Love Substack. The rumors that Matthew Stafford are going to be traded to the Vikings are false, but the rumors that we're trading Luke Braun to Locked On Saints for cash considerations later, those might be true.
Ross Jackson says no.
Locked On Sports Minnesota Podcasts. It's endless Minnesota Vikings talk with the diverse voices of your local experts. It's time for the Minnesota Football Party. It's your guys hanging out talking next-level Vikings football. So join in with Arif Hassan, Locked On Vikings Luke Braun, Superior Sports Talk's Luke Inman, and Vikings insider Sam Ekstrom, plus the biggest names in Minnesota football for the Minnesota Football Party. And it starts now.
Welcome in. It's game day on the Minnesota Football Party, part of Locked On Sports Minnesota, and it's all part of the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day. Thanks for making us your first listen on this Vikings game day. For your second one, check out Locked On Vikings with Luke Braun. Great daily Vikings content. You can find our audio on his feed wherever you get your podcast. That's Locked On Vikings. You met the crew, the Lukes, Arif. I'm Sam Ekstrom. We've got Rams Vikings to preview, Matthew Stafford rumors to debunk, and Luke Braun deep dives on Sam Darnold. Is he regressing or not? I've got some numbers to back that up one way or the other. Ron Johnson makes his Thursday appearance.
Got some numbers that'll make either case. Who's to say?
They might not shed any light on anything. They might just muddy the waters further.
Some numbers, I have no idea what they mean.
Please tell me. Please tell me what they mean. I mean, they're not Russell Wilson numbers, that's for sure. Today's episode is brought to you by Prize Picks. Go to prizepicks.com/LockedOnNFL. Use code all lowercase LockedOnNFL to win $50 instantly when you play $5. Vikings Rams tonight. Luke Braun's going to be there, so Luke Braun gets the first crack. What's the key to the Vikings victory?
If Hawkinson is back, then it's that versus I don't know what's happening in LA at linebacker. It's ugly.
They don't either.
Former Viking legend Troy Reeder.
He's hurt, I think.
Oh, he's hurt.
So it's his backup. It's the guy that lost the job to a guy that did not make the Vikings last year. So that's pretty rough. Without Hawkinson, save Hawkinson, I would also say the ability to get Matthew Stafford out of rhythm. I think Stafford can hit a lot of those over-the-middle concepts that can move the ball on the Vikings if you let him stay in rhythm. The Rams do not have an offensive line like the Lions do, and you have to take advantage of that. You need to get quick pass rush wins. You need to get unblocked pressures. That needs to work. Those, I think, are the two biggest pressure points on the Lions. I think if you push them, you can get them.
Yeah, Stafford's had a hard time with the blitz all year, too. You're the number one blitzing defense in the league. If anything, Flores, keep the heat up, commit to the bit, live and die off that pressure, sim pressure, cat and mouse game. It's just a bit with Flores, all right? It's just
Flores has been doing a bit, for years.
It's just a bit. But you're right. I mean, I'm looking at this Rams offensive line right now with all the injuries they have, and I think they got Noteboom coming back this week, but you got Bo Limmer starting at center. He's a rookie center, an undrafted free agent starting at left guard the past few weeks. Again, Noteboom's coming back. Maybe he's a little rusty, but you're right. Exploiting that offensive line, specifically the interior, right? Keeping putting a lot of stress on their pre-snap communication. That would be a good start, I feel like, that you kind of build your game plan around. And that plays into the Vikings' strengths too, right? They're the only team in the NFL with more than one guy with 5 sacks right now, and they got 3 of them. Ginkle, Pat Jones, Grenard. Maybe you get Jihad Ward or Dallas Turner in there with some NASCAR packages, but just put a lot of stress on that offensive line. Combine that with Stafford, who, let's face it, he looks old. He's never been a mobile guy anyways, pure pocket guy, but he looks like a statue more and more by the week. So Cooper Kupp coming back, that's going to be huge. Got to know where he's at all times as well.
Note boom, weird practice report, full participant,
Yeah.
Tuesday and Wednesday, designation out. Note boom is out, despite being a full participant. So he will not be playing in the game. I think he's in his window. He's in his 21-day window.
Got it.
Also,
So
is
it's
there,
part of their plan then.
right. Is Puka going to make a surprise reappearance? He's questionable.
That is a possibility. I doubt it.
Yeah, Locked On Rams host tells me no.
Okay,
On the crossover.
so that's-
there you
Go
go.
listen to the crossover Thursday.
So, okay, I'm looking up Cooper Kupp stats right now. They targeted him in week 1 versus the Lions 21 times. If Puka doesn't play, how many targets is Cooper Kupp getting tonight? 30? 5?
30.
40?
he's going to
45.
exceed the Keenan Allen game against the Vikings from last
Christ.
year.
Oh,
Jesus.
Well,
That
what
was
Garrett Wilson got
insane.
like 20. Yeah, they'll just let him catch all the slants in the world, and then you'll
Yeah.
enjoy your
Did-
second and threes.
Will Cooper Kupp go down as having the greatest one-off season in NFL history? Like,
No, that's
Brown?
Josh Gordon. Josh Gordon.
Oh,
I was gonna say Peyton
Josh
Hillis.
Gordon.
Pretty good.
Wow.
Ooh, Peyton Hillis is a good one.
Ooh,
Both
Peyton
Browns.
Hillis. Madden cover. Peyton
Was it the
Hillis.
same year? And they somehow didn't make the playoffs.
Norv Turner at the helm?
Was that year?
That's okay.
That's the year Brian Hoyer came into the Metrodome and
Right. That's what I'm
slam dunked
thinking.
the Vikings.
Yeah.
Week
I'm not going to
three.
look
Fake
any of
field
that
goal?
up. I'm just going to
Yeah.
assume all of that occurred in the same year because that's very funny to me.
Slam dunking Matt Castle.
Before we talk about the Stafford rumors, what about the more legitimate Cooper Kupp rumors? What would
yeah.
you give up for a Cooper Kupp?
Well, it sounds like the market is probably an early-ish third. I mean, you obviously can't tell how early a third is going to be at this point in the season, but Rams are going to take on most of that contract. They're already offering that. You know, they've given up the
Wild
thing.
piece of information to volunteer.
Yeah. So,
right.
Like via
so yeah,
reporters.
and so they're asking for a second. The trade hasn't happened yet, so it's probably not going to be for a second. Sounds like it's going to be a third and some change. Would I do that abstractly? Were I the Vikings? No. First, the Vikings have a really fantastic receiving group. No reason to really do that. Like, it would be an upgrade, right? Cooper Kupp's a good player. Like, I'm not saying it's not an upgrade. The upgrade is smaller for the Vikings than it is for other teams, so they value it less.
Yeah.
And also they have no assets to trade.
How many
I-
years
I-
does
I
he
would
have
not
left
anticipate
on his
Three.
deal?
3 left,
Three.
Luke. 2 after this. This
Yeah.
would be the third. Yeah.
Yeah, I would not anticipate the Vikings being the team that puts together the best package for the Rams, both
No.
because
Right.
they don't have
Be
those
very
assets,
tough.
and also because they're just not going to be the team.
Can you
that's
imagine
as
them,
excited
like,
as like
Yeah.
Trading away Jalen Naylor as part of it? Like, I can't. My brain can't
That-
comprehend
you'd
that.
probably have to do something like that, but like
Yeah.
like they're very happy right there.
Tristan.
Kevin O'Connell knows how to win a Super Bowl with Cooper Kupp. He
Yeah,
was very
sure.
eager, by the way, when we had a behind the scenes with O'Connell when he first got hired. And I think I can share this now because it's so far in the rearview mirror. He was very eager to take credit for the concepts on like the game-winning drive in the Super Bowl that he
That was a
drew
fun
up.
session, though.
That
That was
was.
great.
Yeah,
Mhm.
I think McVay ended up saying that not too long after about him.
Probably when he got hired. Yeah.
Yeah, and I don't think that's private information anymore.
Gessling just came out with a pretty good article. I'm only about halfway through it, but just about just kind of his relationship with McVay and just how he got started, and just how much he learned, not just about play concepts and drawn up plays and everything else, but like how to be a head coach. And he was like, if I was at a different spot with a different team, I probably wouldn't have got such an inside look and been able to absorb as much as I did. So he so far, I mean, he gives a lot of credit to McVay for just where he's at right now and just how much he learned under him too. Pretty good article so far.
What are we learning, big picture, about these wunderkind offensive-minded head coaches? When you see McVay struggling with the Rams, with Stafford, you see
We can't count McVay as a wonderkind anymore, right? Like, it's been he's already
He has a
contemplated
ring.
retiring. Yeah.
But
Yeah,
what is the
like-
lesson? Like when McVay can't produce offense, when Stefanski, obviously with one of the worst quarterbacks in the league, can't produce anything in Cleveland, like what are we learning about the evolution of the young offensive coach?
I don't think much, right? Because the guy, Zach Taylor, that's it, reasonably well for Cincinnati. Obviously doesn't have a ring, but made it to an AFC Championship game and has been consistently competitive despite constant and I think fair criticism. I don't know, like some of these young offensive coordinator type coaches have done really, really well. One of the best ones in the NFL coaches for Green Bay, right?
Yeah.
So I don't know. I don't know that there's much to take from this, except that I don't think that there's actually a template for a good head coach. They could come as like a young protege type offensive mind or whatever. But I just think that we have so many different backgrounds for so many different successful coaches, including, again, a special teams coordinator in Baltimore. Like I feel like that always gets ignored, and we then just don't count special teams coordinators as head coaching candidates. I still think that's like an untapped market, but I think that we're continuing to learn that there's no good model. Some of them will succeed, some of them will not, and I don't think their background has very much to do with it.
Yeah, everybody's their own guy.
Brace yourself.
Like when you make
Oh, what?
Where'd that come from? Tom Pelissero. There is now optimism Puka Nacua potentially could return as well.
Oh wow.
Thanks, Tom.
That's a surprise. Thanks, Tom. I feel like if you make those like if you're gonna try to do like offensive minded, offensive scheme guru head coaches thing, like you're gonna have to find opinions that lump like Sean McVay in with Kevin O'Connell with like Dave Canales, and it's like these are all different people. They're different people. Hire a head coach that's good. That's the rule.
Right, which admittedly is pretty difficult to identify. But I don't think but
I don't think like broad categorizations of like which side of the ball they coached on before is going to get you very far.
Yeah.
Let's not bury the lead on this Nacua thing. If Kupp and Nacua are back, Vikings on a short week, those two have recently injured but fresh legs. I do think this changes the equation. For the Vikings being 2.5-point favorites, I would have concerns about the Rams putting together some offensive semblance. Arif, you're skeptical.
Yeah, okay,
I'm not
so
seeing what you're seeing here.
Yeah, I don't see the Tom Pelissero. Was it a video that's?
Oh, it was a couple hours ago. Oh, okay.
Okay.
I was looking for like a tweet.
Yeah, because I haven't. So obviously Nacua being healthy is pretty big for the Rams. I just think that from a personnel perspective, they're so far behind that I'd still probably take the Vikings minus. I was gonna take the Vikings minus 2.5 if he wasn't healthy, and maybe that changes my mind on that. But sorry, I just think that without an offensive line, it's going to be tough no matter who your receivers are.
Yeah.
And they just don't have one, right? Like they've got a right tackle. He's a solid guy. That's it. The center's
He's
bad.
a nice guy. He's a nice fellow. Kind of guy you take
he's
home
nice.
to your dog.
Upstanding. Right. Yeah, exactly.
Good guy.
But yeah, the left tackle's a disaster, left guard's a disaster, center's kind of a disaster, right guard's a bit of a disaster. That's a bit better than the left tackle situation. Like, it's bad. So, I don't know what to say. So, yeah, I think that having Nacua back is better, right? But I think that there's also a good chance that he would be kind of limited in terms of his like pitch count or routes run count or whatever you want to call it. That's a possibility. The thing is, the Rams do ask a lot of their receivers just in terms of physicality. They'll run them into linebackers and stuff like that. So I feel like there's a little bit of a higher threshold for their health than there is for maybe on other teams. I don't know.
Cooper Kupp, great run blocker. They can't run the ball. They can't stop the run. This has to be a big Aaron Jones game. Let's get Ty Chandler to come alive and Cam Akers' revenge. Right, this is the Cam Akers grudge match.
Yeah, sure.
Well,
Rams
he's
have
actually bitter with McVay, right? Like there actually was a bit of a
they quit on
thing
him
there. Yeah,
they
did.
They dug his grave and basically laid him
spat on it, man. They really disrespected it.
Yeah, like with the Texans, and it's already that game's already in the rearview anyway. But like With the Texans, it was just like, oh, thanks for 5 games and
Yeah, like
pick
we're
swap,
gonna
I
do
guess.
you
Like,
a favor because we got this guy coming back and this guy coming back, and like you're just
yeah,
getting
you got
buried.
to.
So like
He did a little
it was
temp
a
duty, got
respect
traded
thing.
to another
Yeah.
team. Like that's all perfectly respectable. But the Rams like don't like that guy.
Yeah. It's pretty incredible.
When we return, Braun is going to take us on a deep dive about Sam Darnold's possible regression. And if he's regressing, should the Vikings trade for Matt Stafford? Probably not. We'll talk about it.
Can't wait till the
next.
trade deadline's gone.
Thank God.
We are presented today by Z Biotics, pre-alcohol by Z Biotics. It's the world's first genetically engineered probiotic. It was invented by PhD scientists to tackle rough mornings after drinking. Here's how it works. When you drink, alcohol gets converted into a toxic byproduct in the gut. It's this byproduct, not dehydration, that's to blame for your rough next day. Pre-alcohol produces an enzyme to break this byproduct down. Just remember to make Z-Biotics your first drink of the night. Drink responsibly. You'll feel your best tomorrow. So once again, step 1, drink pre-alcohol. Make it your first drink of the night. Step 2, drink responsibly. Pace yourself. Stay hydrated. Step 3, enjoy the next day. Wake up feeling refreshed. Go to zbiotics.com/LockedOnNFL to learn more and get 15% off your first order when you use LockedOnNFL at checkout. ZBiotics is backed with 100% money-back guarantee, so if you're unsatisfied for any reason, they'll refund your money, no questions asked. Remember to head to zbiotics.com/LockedOnNFL and use the code LockedOnNFL at checkout for 15% off. Shout out to the everydayers as well who tune in on YouTube, who listen on audio, the Locked On Vikings podcast feed, and thank you for subscribing. Make sure you get notified when we go live Mondays and Thursdays. Wide Left Substack, Luke Braun, a contributor, and or was this a Patreon? You went deep on Sam Darnold. Where can this be
This was a
found?
Patreon, patreon.com/LukeBraunNFL.
All right, he's saving his.
But I
he's not
mean,
giving
but
a
it
read
go to
the-
wide
But
left.
Yeah, go to Wide Left.
Plug,
What did I write about this week?
I don't remember.
Dark Matter,
Oh,
but I forget
yeah,
what the
Dark Matter.
Vikings part of it was.
Yeah.
I'll lead.
Brian
I'll lead
Flores. That's what I wrote about. Dagger. That's what it was.
Yeah.
I got to hit the buzzer on you for Dagger. Sam Darnold, the whispers of his regression, turning into a pumpkin, as you might say. First 3 games versus most recent 3 games. There's a drop. It's not drastic. Like the play action numbers aren't nearly as good. The most recent 3 weeks, and those are going to be thrown off again by a pretty bad Jets game. But I'm going to let Luke Braun take it away because he's crunched the all-22. Sam Darnold, is he bad?
Is he bad? He's the same guy he's been all year. That's kind of the conclusion that I came to. In the early parts of the year, it was like there were more turnover worthy plays than there were turnovers, I guess, if you want to put that in statistical terms, where there was all of this explosive potential. The thing about Sam Darnold that got him drafted high in the first place is that he makes all the throws to every level of the field, and he makes you defend every blade of grass. It's really stressful to a defense. The timing and the rhythm was really awesome in the first part of the year, and I think it was pretty good in the Lions game. What I found was, like, I expected to go into that all 22 and start making that video and be like, okay, here's all the things downfield he missed. Here's all the parts where his brain fell out. Like, here's the Sam Darnold. And I just didn't find that. I thought a lot of those times where he scrambled in the Lions game, it was going to be like, oh, here was the opportunity he really missed. But for whatever reason, whether it was just the coverage had it or because, the window was there, but that's when the pressure was arriving and he had to move up, or like whatever it was, I didn't find myself like too annoyed with Sam Darnold. And it still is the quarterback he's been all year, which is capable of producing a whole bunch of explosives, probably good for like 2 or 3 really dumb plays that could turn the ball over. Whatever you make of that is what you make of that. And then if there is a statistical drop, it's because just those things are or aren't working out differently than they were before. But it feels like he's kind of giving you a lot of opportunities to get chunks and maybe one more opportunity than you want to turn the ball over. For more detailed stuff, you can go watch on Patreon where I can actually show you the film and show you what I'm looking for. But I think that the coolest thing about Sam Darnold that still happens regularly, happened on the big long Jordan Addison post, is how opportunistic he is when a defensive back makes a very small mistake. On that play, the half safety, I think it was Brian Branch, played it a little bit flat-footed. He played it a little aggressive. It's a little bit of a greedy move. Harrison Smith does that all the time, but it's a greedy thing to do. You got to know when you can and can't get away with it. And because he played it a little bit flat-footed, Sam Darnold could launch that like right in the middle of what Brian Branch's zone is supposed to be, just understanding he's not going to get back there. On the whiteboard, you never throw that. But in that situation with where Brian Branch had placed himself, it's there. And that opportunism is not something you get with everybody. Like, not every quarterback even has the guts to attempt that throw, let alone dropping a 55-yard bomber right in the bucket.
Famously an issue that Kirk Cousins had for like until
Yes, which is why it stands out so much to me.
Yeah.
You
Like-
just went robot mode also, Arif. Go out and come back in. Get out of here. Get out of here. Bye.
Time out.
So you're saying that
You're right. Like it feels like everybody was also just muscle memory, just kind of waiting for the other shoe to drop. And as soon as he started to maybe drop off a little bit, right, the last 10 quarters or so, like, oh, he's not winning offensive player of the month this month anymore. Like, everybody knows. It just feels like this stigma. It's always going to come back to one thing with Sam Darnold until he can prove people wrong. The ball security stuff. 5 fumbles, 5 interceptions, and like you said, like 4 or 5 other turnover-worthy plays that didn't get cashed in. So ball security, decision-making, those two things are like always going to follow Sam Darnold around until he can shake that stigma. But I'm with you, like all in all, top to bottom, and there's a million more things to evaluate with the quarterback position than there is any other position. But just top to bottom, all in all, overall, I think he's been rock solid, man.
The good outweighs the bad. That's the conclusion I came away with that I didn't think I would come away with from the Lions game.
Yeah, he has overachieved everybody's expectations that people had preseason going in, I think.
Yeah. So the Stafford trade, in your opinion, would not make a lot of sense. And again, it'd be 3 years of Stafford. It would be going back into big salary quarterback.
So what are you doing with JJ?
Just doesn't pass the smell test, man. Like, for so many reasons. And also now Ben Gessling has just said, like, no, that's fiction. So
yeah, I needed somebody with credible, sources.
Somebody like Gessling who cares about his reputation,
like Gessling,
and cares about if you trust him.
Yeah, so if people haven't seen, like, the video was shared on Twitter, but it's like him and Randball just talking about it, and Gessling was like, well, the first thing I did was I checked the numbers to see if the contract math would work out, and it did, so I had to send some text to people, and he apparently he texted a couple of people inside the organization, and they all said, no, that's stupid. So... so Gessling is reporting pretty strongly that rumor that appeared out of thin air shockingly does not have any backing.
Yeah, that Florio admitted that he was just running without confirming.
Oh,
that's so
Florio?
annoying.
That's like so uncharacteristic of him. That's crazy.
Yeah.
He never does that.
Who would do that?
Florio? What?
Florio would do that.
Yeah,
and does a lot.
When you say
he did with the Malik Neighbors thing too in the draft. He came out later. He was like, "Yeah, we couldn't confirm this, but he had said it on TV the day before."
Wow,
yeah, but when you say like, "I'm not reporting, but I'm hearing," that's gutless. That's
yeah. Also, that's reporting.
That is
shove
reporting.
off. That is reporting. Go away.
Yeah.
and let's just say it did happen, which is not gonna. How much havoc does that wreak on the cap this year, next year? Because it feels like everything they've
you'd
done,
have to restructure
Kwesi
a couple contracts
and kick the can down the road on a couple guys.
Yeah, you'd have to probably move money on like your most recent contracts. You want to do it with like Jefferson or Darrisaw's contract.
Sure. Okay. Yeah, it just feels like that's the opposite of what they've been building toward. Yeah, I was thinking Brian.
His is always built for that.
Always. It just feels like opposite of what they've been kind of building towards the last 2-3 years. Kind of the opposite.
Yeah. There's a little.
You finally have cap flexibility going into next offseason, and you're just gonna, pull the rug right underneath it. I just don't. It's not gonna happen anyways. And I mean there's a different conversation, like fully healthy, both of them, side by side for one big game. Okay, yeah, sure, I'll need Stafford. Absolutely. But
final moment.
Yeah, right. But like trading for a guy in week 8 or week 9 and having him come in and learning a new playbook and I get it. He already kind of, has a good grasp on the concepts and scheme and all that. But like there's so much work that would need to be done on the fly. And how long does it take for everybody to get on the same page and in midseason form again? That's a big gamble, man. The money, the age, the health, the declining play of Stafford lately, the timing halfway through the season, putting on some void years on some dudes, kicking the can down the road. I don't like it.
And besides, if the Vikings were going to trade for a QB, it'd clearly be Russ.
Well, obviously.
Like, obviously. Steelers go back to Fields, works out great. And then the Vikings trade Darnold to Stefanski in Cleveland.
Hey, Russ is starting to cook.
Russ is starting.
Try to save.
Russ-
Hey, Stefanski
Russ had
already lost play
two
calling
quarters.
duties. I think that one's cooked over there.
Yeah.
It's true.
They're already shuffling around coaching responsibilities. I don't know if anybody's lasting.
Deck chairs on the Titanic vibes.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I think a house is getting cleaned over there in Cleveland.
Does feel that way. So where are we going next? Ron Johnson was scheduled to join. We'll see if he joins at some point. Vikings Rams tonight. Postcast coming afterward. Luke Braun, are you off or on the postcast? On air production meeting here.
Great question. I literally have not thought about that. I can do my best, but who knows about it with basically on my way out of the stadium. But I'll try. How about that? I'll try.
All right, give it the old college try.
Yeah.
When we return, nerdy stats of the day and Week 8 bets in the Minnesota football party. As we always do, those Week 8 lines will be courtesy of FanDuel, because when you have a hunch, FanDuel is the place to cash in. You can get a big return at America's #1 sportsbook when you have that hunch, whether it's before the game, in-game with the live lines, or maybe you've got a spidey sense about something that's going to happen in a few months. You got those futures options. You bet $5 if you're a new customer. Bet $5, get $200 in bonus bets guaranteed. It's great with FanDuel because you get the $200 and you can sprinkle that around however you want. Put it on the futures, put it on the money lines, the over-unders, the spreads. And you got a lot of wagering options right now with World Series, NHL, NBA, college football, NFL, and in a couple weeks, college basketball. That's all available at America's #1 sportsbook and the FanDuel Sportsbook app, as well as FanDuel.com. Vikings -2.5 tonight. Hammer that line. We pivot to America's favorite segment.
Analytics fans rejoice. It's time to get educated
Whoa, you're blowing my mind right now.
with the nerdy stat of the day.
The nerdiest stats of the day coming at you now. We start with Arif Hassan. He's
I'm
muted.
eating.
We start with, do you need to eat? Do you need a break?
No. No, I'll just be gross. Okay. I also don't have a nerdy stat. Let's go with this. Run block win rate is the only statistic where the Los Angeles Rams are above the league average, which I find kind of curious, but Kyron Williams has been pretty successful. It doesn't really bother me. They're 8th, I think, in run block win rate. The Vikings are 6th in run stop win rate, led by Jonathan Grenard, who leads the league among edge rushers in run stop win rate. So, was Kyron Williams like 77.5? That's not my prop, but I'll take the under on it.
That's
Beautiful.
fair.
Rams.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah.
Rams rank 4th in the league in pass rate over the middle of the field. Pass
Game
over the
time.
middle of the field. 4th most often. Game time.
Game time.
They have been about average in terms of their production on those, but obviously against the Vikings defense, that's where all the holes are.
Concise. I love it. Luke
I
Inman.
like it. Yeah, the Rams motion pre-snap 72% of the time, twice as much as anybody else in the league, where my mind kind of goes right away when I hear that. As far as it pertains to the Vikes tonight, that stuff puts a little bit of extra pressure on the linebackers in the middle. Cashman out, Pace with the green dot again. He's going to have his hands full tonight. I think he'll be up for the challenge for sure. Also, I'm thinking about Josh Metellus. He'll probably have a lot on his plate tonight as well. Down in the box as a linebacker and run fits one play, and then in the slot or roaming around someone like Cooper Kupp, just shadowing him for a lot of snaps all night too. But buckle up. A lot of pre-snap motion by the Rams, like they always do.
I forgot that mine came from Tej FB Analytics on Twitter. Wanted to credit
Mine
that.
came from ESPN's page on the thing.
Mine comes from
Machine.
Yep.
Pro Football Focus. I just want to remind people that Jonathan Grenard is going to have a top 5 pass rusher season if this continues. What a deal by Kwesi. What an acquisition. He is on pace to lead the league in pressures because Aiden Hutchinson is hurt.
Not Aiden Hutchinson division. Right, yeah.
Otherwise, it'd be Aiden.
Yeah.
He has He's behind Nick Bosa, but he's also played one fewer game. So he is on pace to lead the league in pressures. He has more pressures in fewer games than Trey Hendrickson, Will Anderson, Daniil Hunter. And for the season, he's on pace for 108 pressures.
I will say a lot of that is probably built around the fact that the Vikings have faced the most passing attempts. Like, that's got to have played a role in this.
For sure.
Pass rush productivity, though, which I believe accounts for that.
Choose to not see
does.
that part. I just choose to go with it anyways.
Sure.
He is 7th in pass rush productivity.
Hey, there you go.
Pretty good.
Pretty good. How about this one?
good.
Byron Murphy has been targeted 50 times this year. That's most in the NFL.
Most of those against the Jets, right?
And again, to a Reese point, playing from behind, those
Yeah.
are going to be a little
A
inflated.
lot of throws.
For sure. Yeah.
A lot of throws to wide receivers specifically. Yeah.
Yep.
Interesting. Let's dive into Week 8 wagers. Again, we started the season with 1,000 mythical dollars. We make a spread or over/under pick every week and a Vikings prop every week. I am leading at 9-5 overall, $1,278. I'm in profit. Arif is in profit with 1,036. He's 8-6. Inman and Braun,
$36 of profit.
you both went 0-2 last week. Inman, you're 7-7 overall, -30 overall at 970, and Braun, you're at 918 with a 4-10 overall record, and that's with one huge hit with was it Montgomery?
Keeping me alive. Yep.
That's keeping you
No, it was
afloat.
2 touchdowns at plus
Yeah, those are
410 a
two-
couple weeks
yeah.
ago.
Yeah, because I think Inman had 1 touchdown and then Braun had 2
Yeah.
touchdowns.
And then I went for because I wanted the 1, and I was like, well, I guess I'll take 2.
And then threw shade at me like, oh, come on, man. Turn up the heat. What are you doing? Too easy. Come on.
Inman makes our first pick this week, and a reminder that Inman has 2 weeks left to use his advantage that he earned in the preseason.
No, I'm going to use it. I'm
fantasy
going to use
league.
it. Otherwise, I'll
He's
forget.
using it.
I'm going to use it.
Okay. Remind me
Go over
what
the-
happens
go
to me
over the
now.
ground rules again.
Double
All
your
right,
losses,
we
half
don't
your
even know.
wins.
Inman
Okay.
will double his wins or have his own losses, and in conjunction, Luke Braun's wins will be halved.
Oh, he
or
gets
his
to do
losses.
both.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. All right.
I'm only concerned about the second part, though. So
Yep. I'm aware.
So Luke
All right.
first pick as well. Good. You get a week to use the advantage. You get exactly what you want on at least.
Wow. Okay. I've never looked at some of these these fun game specials here, but I'm kind of getting sucked into one of these here. Cooper Kupp and Justin
By all
Jefferson
means.
combined for 200 receiving yards at plus 230. Wow. I should have done some
Wow.
preparation on this.
That was the most dad noise we've ever had on this podcast.
Jefferson said this week he's tired of the 80-yard games. He's tired of the 90-yard.
I
tired of
did
him.
go big.
It's true.
I did go big on JJ last week, and he let me down. And I could go back to my Jaguars
He's
philosophy
due.
2 years
He's
ago.
due.
He's due. He is due, and I feel like Cooper Kupp is also going to have a big game. But also, Sam was talking about Aaron Jones is going to have a big game too, which does make a lot of sense. Do I play this safe and just go Aaron Jones total yards? Where are you? Total yards over 100, minus 114. Yeah, let's go. Go ahead. What are you gonna say?
No, I'm just repeating what you said. Is that what you're going with?
You're stalling.
Yep. Aaron Jones rushing and receiving yards over 105, minus 114, and I'm gonna go big. I'm gonna go 250. Has anybody bet anything
Wow.
over $200?
No.
Nope.
Has
that is
anybody bet anything over $100?
I'm pretty
I don't
sure.
think so. I think you've gone 100 a couple times, but I don't think anybody's been that.
Got it. Yeah. All right. I'm due. I'm really due. And
You
that's
got
how
your
this
advantage too, so it's a good time to go hard.
Yeah.
got to go big. Now let me make sure I got that right. Aaron Jones over. Now is this 105 plus or is it over?
100.5, 100 and a half yards, minus
good thing I clarified.
114. This is rushing and receiving yards combined by Aaron Jones.
From scrimmage.
From scrimmage, yep.
Scrimmage.
Minus 114. And just because you bought me another 15 seconds, I'm going to up it from 250 to 350. Dad noises. It woke something loose. Jarred something loose. Dad noises.
He found his power.
Arif.
Oh man, Thursday night football. What could go wrong, you guys? Really?
Nothing.
Right?
go wrong.
Yeah.
Thursday night football.
The most predictable game of the week.
Take the injured guy on short rest.
I'll take. Once again, I'll do the minimums. I'll take the Falcons -2.5 at -110. They're playing the Buccaneers. The Buccaneers just do not have receivers. So I feel like 2.5 is kind of an odd line for that. So I'll take it at, what are we at, $80?
Mm-hmm.
Cool. So that's
$80?
the minimum. Yeah. -110.
Okay. That brings me up. I'm gonna take the Jameis bump and a lot of points with the Browns against the Ravens. 9.5. Browns 9.5. We'll put a hundo on it.
All right.
Well, I'm obviously doing the minimums today.
Coward.
Yeah.
Sorry. What? Quick correction. Too many people thinking like me. The line has moved to 8.5 for Cleveland. 8.5.
8.5. People are hammering it. It's usually a good sign. Well, I can't believe you all let me have the Justin Jefferson over 84.5. So I'll just take that -110 for the minimum. I thought that would be gone like first.
And your second bet.
My second bet will be Jets Patriots under 41.5 at -115, also for the minimum.
Well, if you're so confident, you can go bigger. I mean, you can go big.
Yeah.
You can go max bet. You're very confident.
Not the time. Hey, I've been
pretty
going
confident.
You got some
minimums.
dad noises. You got some dad.
I've been going minimums and conservatism.
No, I don't.
Because you have the advantage
Consistent.
over me, because I didn't want to get ambushed by it. So I've been
Yep.
going minimums. I might get a little more aggressive later on in the year, depending on how much of a deficit I end up having to make up.
Mm-hmm. Coming back to me, I will take my Vikings prop, Jordan Addison, and I better confirm the odds, but I like the plus money on Addison, just getting 3.5. Now, I believe, did someone take that last week and lose? Recently, someone has gotten hosed on the Jordan Addison prop. I'm fairly certain. But I like it tonight.
It sounds like me. It sounds like he had 3.5 and I got 3 or something like that.
Total player receptions. It has not moved. Over 3.5 at +102. I will put another 100 on Jordan Addison.
All right. I am going to wager on Puka Nakua's health, which sounds bad when you put it like that. No, it's Tutu Atwell, 40+ receiving yards at +138. I'll take the minimum.
Tutu's been nailing that every week, hasn't he?
Pretty consistent. It's
Pretty
weird.
consistent.
Yeah.
Granted, he's been like the number one guy. Now Cooper Kupp comes back, but I don't really feel like that hurts his chances too much.
30,
all right.
Is it 31.5 you said over?
No. I'm taking 40+ receiving yards. There's the alt line. Yeah.
Okay.
At +138.
Plus
Taking an aggressive alt line.
Tutu over 40.5 or
No, it's 40+, so it's
okay,
40 and then so 40 would hit for me. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you. Go ahead.
All right, I got to do a spread. 9.5 points is a lot, but Bryce Young coming back. I can't imagine he got drastically better all of a sudden. Panthers are just bad. They don't have a lot of talent. 9.5. Broncos by 9.5. That's -120.
Correction, my line has moved to +140.
I saw that. I
Oh,
got it.
yeah.
Thanks.
Yeah.
-120, and I'm gonna go $200.
So, Luke, worst case scenario this week, you would lose $550 and have it, which would be a $275 loss. Best case scenario, you double $550-ish. Probably you pay some juice, double $500. You could win $1,000 this week and move into first place.
That's real money. Wow, that's awesome. That's
Yeah,
so cool.
that's money that
Is that just direct deposit?
David Locke
or-
will owe you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, no. David Locke
So
will call
courier
that, yeah.
come to my house Friday. Yeah, okay, that's great. I love this game.
Can we make a zany prediction for tonight? Now that since we do have a game tonight, I would like to
a
get
bold prediction, you say?
a bold prediction. Is that maybe something Luke Braun does once in a while on Locked On Vikings?
Is that perhaps a Friday segment on Lockdown? We actually did that one on
Could you
Wednesday.
perhaps give us a tease for what people can expect? Well, although you won't be doing them on this Friday's show.
No, we already did them on Wednesday, so I can tell you what's on there. You can listen to Wednesday's show to hear all of them. I'll give you one that already has lost somebody said that the Vikings would have travel troubles and that the game would be postponed to Friday.
Buskets.
We go bold.
Those are bold.
We go bold.
Yeah.
Yeah, they
Yeah,
could
but-
get stuck in LA traffic. Like it isn't totally, but
What do you got to take? The 405?
they'll
just
probably
like
live.
saying that.
They're probably staying right by the stadium because there's a million hotels right by the airport, which is right there. I will
Ron, what do
probably.
you
I have no
wear?
idea how I'm getting down.
What do you wear to a Vikings game? Like
To a
Helga
road
horns,
game, gotta wear
face
purple.
paint? Okay.
Gotta wear purple because you gotta be able to see it in the stands. I will be wearing my throwback T.J. Hawkinson jersey.
Nice. You do all that
Throwback?
unless you're in Soldier Field in Chicago and sitting up in the way upper decks.
I had when I
from my
went to Soldier
experience,
Field a
you gotta
couple
be
years
careful.
ago, we were all bundled up, but I just kind of wriggled an Adam Thielen jersey over it, and it worked out well.
Nice.
Are you like a hollerer on third down? Like, are you trying to like, let's go, let's
Have
go?
you seen his
up
Twitter
and up."
banner, dude? Of course he is.
Okay,
Yeah,
I'm curious.
You're
that's-
laying down
well,
some
that was
brews.
my Twitter banner is in the moments following the Minneapolis Miracle.
Yeah,
That's
he bleeds,
when
man.
that picture was taken. Yeah, I bleed.
Luke bleeds.
I bleed.
Yeah.
Yeah, he bleeds, man. So what section are you in? Just so when they pan and scan. we-
So I
Yeah,
know
no, I'll be.
what instructions to give. Yeah.
yeah.
I'll be in the second deck. I will also be hanging out before the game. In the 400 level, I'll be hanging out. So come. say
Wearing a
hi.
very visible, maybe from a long distance, purple. Right? Got it. Cool.
Got it.
He's doing a meet and greet with his fans.
You got to make a sign or something. You got to make a sign.
Yeah.
I'll just be.
for sure.
I'll be standing there, probably eating something. Come say hi.
Yeah, I'll tell my guy.
I got a guy.
He's got an inn at the NFL Media Building. It has a very clear view of
It
the
does.
fourth floor of SoFi Stadium.
Sam Darnold, homecoming, making his return back to Southern Cal, and same with KOC, coming back to California.
Yeah, first game for KOC at SoFi. The last time he played at SoFi, it was the Super Bowl.
Very cool.
Sam Darnold has not won a game since he led the Trojans out of the tunnel
In California.
during the bye. I think during
No,
the bye
he just
week.
hasn't won a game.
He's 0-1.
Oh!
He led
That
the-
happened on the bye. That's right.
Yeah. So
The
that's
Vikings, since 2004, when Thursday Night Football started, the Vikings have never played a game on Thursday Night Football on the road and come away victorious. 0-6 on the road, all-time Thursday Night Football broadcast. Now, they did beat the Lions on Thanksgiving, which was on a Thursday in Detroit. That was
Which
2017.
is not a Thursday night game.
But that was a Fox, right? During the day, totally different
It's a
circumstances.
different product.
This is
Yeah.
this is the Thursday Night Football show because it's all
Right.
scripted reality show anyways. So,
so
0-6 on
let's
the
see if we try to rattle these off. So they lost to the Eagles
Oh,
last
wow,
year.
yeah. Boy.
They lost.
They lost to the Rams.
The
Anthony
Rams
Barr
in
Cooper Kupp game.
2018.
2018.
Yep.
That was a great game.
That was a
That
great
sucked.
38-31 or something.
Yeah.
I was also at that
lost-
one, unfortunately.
Were you? Oh, that's a good
Yeah.
one.
At the call.
That one changed the face of offense in the NFL.
It
Kinda
did.
Jared Goff. That was when he was at the height of his powers.
It also forced.
He might be
Zimmer-
at the height of his powers now.
Right.
Yeah,
It was a local maximum in terms of his capability.
Wait, was that
Yeah.
was that Todd Gurley or was that Sony Michel?
No, that was Todd Gurley.
That was
Was he
still.
healthy?
And,
Because
like,
he was
Robert
hurt a bunch of
Woods.
that year, wasn't he?
No, because Gurley beat Barr on
No,
a
Gurley
route
played
where
then.
that
Oh, you're
he
right,
almost
yeah.
always runs Texas on that play, and that play he didn't, and that's what Barr leveraged for, and so Barr gave up his third touchdown of the day.
Oh my gosh.
Because of a red zone. Yeah. Also, that changed the Vikings defense from being primarily cover 3 to primarily cover 4/6.
Yep.
Should have
Yeah,
drafted.
it sent Zimmer to the drawing board.
Should have drafted
Yeah.
Aaron Donald.
Yep.
Just done that.
There it is.
Vikings went to Philly the next week and won. That was a turning
Wow.
point,
They did.
actually. In
Yeah. Aldrick
pull.
Robinson, 2 touchdowns in that game.
Wow, good pull.
Ah, man.
Linval with a touchdown the following week.
Aldrick Robinson's touchdowns per route run that year was outstanding.
That was such a great little narrative.
Great random Viking. Awesome random Viking. My Thursday night memory is fading. We got 2015 Arizona with the strip sack.
Oh, God.
Zimmer yelled at Norv.
Teddy?
Oh, geez.
That one hurt.
Yeah, that one was super
lingers,
tight.
man. That one
And it made us
stung.
all think that if Blair Walsh doesn't blow that kick and they go play Arizona, that we absolutely could go there and have a chance.
Man.
Yeah.
That was Khalil on the block?
Maclo. Yep.
Yep.
Yeah.
Man, that one stung for a while. That one hurt.
No, it still stings. What are you talking about?
Yeah, this is the
I
second
bleed.
Matt Khalil game-ending strip sack of that season. If I recall, because it happened
Broncos.
against the Broncos too.
Yeah.
TJ Ward. So we've talked for 5 minutes. I don't think we've made a single prediction about tonight, have we?
Well, Luke Braun made kind of a retroactive kind of prediction when he talked about
Told a bold
someone else's
prediction from the show.
Right.
You'll have to
Yeah.
listen to Locked On Vikings to get the rest of the viewers' bold predictions.
I think
I don't
we're
know.
going to see our first 60-plus yard attempt by Will the Thrill tonight. Going in
You know what? I'll
That's a
give
good
you
one.
another
I
one.
like that one.
Arif, I think you'll love this. Somebody said that in honor of Caesar's betrayal, the Vikings would get gashed by dagger for over 23 points coming from that specific play.
At 2? Oh my gosh.
at 2.
I really love that one.
That one's good. How about
Dalton
my
Reisner
bold...
starts.
All right, whatever.
Starts.
Well, you think they're going to just insert him middle? I don't think they're
Well, I
going
just haven't heard anything about him starting at all.
Yeah.
So
Well,
it
so
caught me off guard.
for either Hawkinson or Reisner to be active, a roster
On it-
transaction needs to be made in the next 2 hours.
On a short week is insane.
Yeah, his window just opened. I have a feeling that's more time to be come back on the mini buy
Right.
than
Well, when
my
are all the
bold
roster
prediction-
moves have to be in so we know when TJ Hawkinson's playing or
3
not?
Central.
Okay.
Yeah.
So 3
My
hours.
bold prediction is that Blake Corum gets more total yards from scrimmage than Kyron Williams. Do I have a reason for believing this? No. I'm just really attached to my Blake Corum over from the beginning of the season.
Like we
Sure.
all were. Yeah.
Yeah.
So we've got a
Cooper
60-yard
Cup,
field goal.
18 or more targets.
Cooper Cup, 18 or more targets. Blake Corum, big yards. Will the Thrill, 60 yards. And Dalton Reisner shuts down the non-existent Rams pass rush.
I don't even know who
Well,
that
no,
is.
hold on. Not that Dalton Reisner will be matched up against him that much, but Jared Verse is genuinely
Jared
having
Verse
a
is
very,
good.
very
Oh, versus
season.
great. Fiske.
Yeah.
Fisk?
Fiskey's all right.
Bisky, yeah, that would
State.
be.
But
A little
Jared
Florida
Verse
State
is
Florida
like...
State guys.
combo.
Yeah,
like
Jared
that.
Verse is like 7th or something like that in pass rush win rate off the edge. Like, he's, doing stuff. It's pretty good.
Oh, Kobe
you
Turner,
guys
that's
aren't,
right.
aren't bummed about Dallas Turner. Lack of production so far, right?
No, I'm not remotely. affected by it.
Because
Check
the
out a
guys
video on
ahead of him-
patreon.com/LukeBrownNFL posted this morning.
Plug, plug, plug.
He's doing fine.
The
Bunch of dirty work, bunch of role playing.
And just the
But
guys
do you-
ahead
do-
of him are playing.
Role-playing.
How
But
are you going to
wouldn't
get them
you-
off the field?
Okay, but when you see, so his snaps have gone from 38
To
to
4 or
18
something,
to 11 to 4. So they
Yeah.
while
Well,
they
and then I
say they
watched
love
them,
him,
which gave me a better opinion.
they clearly okay, but the team has clearly decided that they're getting more. Is it that he's not doing something, or that they're getting more from someone else? What is the rationale for
Yeah,
that?
they're getting more
even
from Andrew Van
Jahad
Ginkel. Have you
Ward.
seen him play?
Even Ward is.
I would also point out that
He's basically backup Van Ginkel. That's the world. And
Was
Van Ginkel
Turner
rotating out
taking
less.
snaps from Van Ginkel early, or was he taking snaps from
That-
Jones? and
Yeah,
Ward?
when Van Ginkel rotates out, that's usually when you see Turner rotate in, with some exceptions, but that's usually how it goes. He's kind of in the defensive line version of clear out jail, like what Jalen Naylor did last year, where it was just you're just running goes, you're just doing cardio. He's on the
Wait, he's the penetrator
he's
on
on the-
stunts.
He's been the looper a couple times, but yeah, he'll do a lot of that. But basically the other thing is they will just fling him against the all-pro tackle, which the Vikings have seen a lot of that. The vast majority of his pass rush snaps have been Andrew Thomas, Trent Williams, Tyron Smith. It's been just an absolute murderer's row of
Hey,
left
bud.
tackles.
Get good.
Yeah.
Here you go.
Yeah. So that Jonathan Grenard can go get the other guy. And so I would
Right.
say that some of Jonathan Grenard's season is because of that strategy, but it means you probably don't need to expect him to go dunk on Trent Williams a bunch. That's
a
only
reason-
Patrick Jones gets to do that.
That's the reason that Jonathan Grenard actually ranks relatively lowly in Brandon Thorne's sack quality score thing, which is
Does
really
he
cool.
adjust for opponent?
Well, kind of. For the rare ultra high quality sack, which gets you the most points in a sack score, it has to also be against a high quality tackle. So, yeah, there's one type of score that adjusts for opponents. The other 5 types of score you can get on a sack do not, but the top one does.
That was an ultra high quality show, you guys, and we'll have an ultra high quality postcast after tonight's game. Luke Braun says he's a maybe. Luke Inman will be there.
Game
I'll
time
be there.
decision.
Ron Johnson is
Game
saving
time.
up for tonight's postcast. He'll be there as well. Thank you for watching and listening to the Minnesota Football Party. Thanks for the comments. Thanks for the chirping. We appreciate the snark. We'll talk to you Monday. Postcast tonight. All sorts of content at Locked On Sports Minnesota. See ya.